Everybody. What's going on? What is with the stream health? Ever since I got this computer back, it's OBS has been a little bit of a POS, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Fucking plushies. I gotta get all my stupid reference back together. So I got these plushies to draw, and my reference was all in a browser, which I had to reboot and did not save. So now, Chrono Trigger Boss. We'll just start with the boss characters because I know what those are supposed to be all the way down there. So open tab, another one, and fucking that little crab looking spiky thing. Supposed to be on the right, left hand side. Lavos. Chrono Trigger. Lavos. spikes with beak. Pretty easy, right? Put that. Copy. I gotta create a file for this because I lose my shit if I lose it again. I don't keep all these bosses memorized. I have to grab screens game to track of it. Who is that dude supposed to be? See, I lost my spot on that. So, who was this homeboy supposed to be? That's the big question. Put on a little music here while I do this. Little bit of DRM free music. How about that? There you go. So got something to listen to while I do this shit.
Yo.
Hey, Mike joins us as I work on Chrono Trigger. Say hi, Mike.
Hello.
Good finger.
It's not Mike Goodfingers. It's Ben Goodfinger.
I've worked you into the Game Cave lore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Goodfinger's a one of the freelancers. You might end up being a demon, like the Juma,
I'm fine with that.
because it'd be funny if
Fine.
you were tentacles and you didn't have any fingers and your name was Goodfinger.
I see what you did there.
See how that
Well
works.
done.
Look at me working it out. Trying to see what happened is I had all my boss reference
Mm-hmm.
for these plushies in browser, and I rebooted, and all my reference went away. And I'm like, who is that supposed to be?
Oh, no.
Because I sketched these suckers in a week ago. Let me double check my Chrono Trigger folder. So Mike's currently hooking up, building a PC for me. How's that going?
It's done, but I sadly ran out of money for shipping because my car.
Well, I already owe you for the case, so I could just send you. Just let me know what it needs to be. And
Oh, no. It's I'll get it shipped out. I just got getting it shipped out later than I want to.
well, just let me know what it is, and I'll send you. And you know what I mean? In advance, bro.
Oh,
So,
well, I mean, fine. I mean,
so
it's going out whenever, but yeah, the new case. Hopefully, when I'm done, it'll be nice and extremely quiet because of its habitat, and the Noctua fans should do their job. Although you will definitely hear it when the 960 kicks in, because there's nothing we can really do about that unless you want to do liquid cooling on a video card, which would be a giant pain in the ass.
hmm.
Aside from that, the case will be nice and quiet. It's a pretty sweet case, man. I gotta admit, I'm not saying that because I picked it. I'm saying it because I got it and I was like, this is a nice case.
Well, just let me know what I owe you for both. So we can get it
Yeah,
going
yeah.
good.
You and I can travel down that road when we need to. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. Looks nice and pretty. It's actually a pretty nice little build. Gonna be happy with it. If you can hear those dogs in the background, please tell me to mute.
Nope.
Okay,
Barking.
good. Because somebody is playing with the dogs upstairs and they're freaking out.
Oh man. Just wait for this.
How was the vacation?
Nice.
Quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I am sad I didn't get a frowny face picture of you, like with nature behind it, but I'll live.
Yeah, I wasn't in the mood to take pics of me this time.
Fair enough.
This is really nice. Windows is janking around with the USB. So now it's probably trying refreshing the drive in the USB port. It did this to me one other time. So if I just let it sit here long enough, it will eventually give me some disk error thing and then remember the drive. It's weird.
Which rig is this?
Huh? It's the vid rig. Well, it's the one I'm drawing on, man. It did this
And
to
you're
me.
having.
I'm
Wait, you're
not
having.
having troubles. It's just some weird fucking thing Windows does where it's got the drive in there. It knows it's a hard drive, and then it thinks it's a generic drive. Like the icon turns from hard drive to that generic device driver,
Oh,
and
yep.
then it'll give you a disk error, and then it'll remember what the drive was. You know what I mean? Like, so if I just sit here and so weird.
And all you lovely people are sitting and watching this.
Yeah, they get
Awesome.
to watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, man. You know, I'm telling you.
And I don't know if running on a Mac would be any easier or any
No, they
better.
don't do high-end GPU functions. This has got nothing. I don't know
Well,
what. See,
they do if you pay the crazy high end price
no,
for
no,
all
fuck it.
Intel
Everything
shit,
works.
anyways.
It works. See, it's working. I don't know what this is. This is new. So all I know is when I got the fucking thing back, I was having some weird issue with OBS. Like it reset my settings on OBS. So now, like, it's just weird, you know. At this point, nothing's broke. It's all working. It's kinks, man. You know. So there, it's fixed. It's working. It doesn't happen all the time. It's random, and the problem when you try to get people to troubleshoot this shit is they want you to be able to reproduce the effect, and it can't. I'm like, well, you got to be there at like fucking 10 in the morning when it happens, you know. Like, it's the same with the thing. They were like, oh, they want a blue screen. There's no blue screen record. I'm like, because it stopped blue screening. It just started restarting. Like it was
Yeah.
doing the blue screen before, and then they're like, well, we can't replicate that. And I'm like, well, so they're like, well, and I'm like, well, like,
As a
okay.
tester, that's kind of bullshit, but they're gonna.
I know, but you know what they're gonna do. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
they're
Just
gonna
how
do their
about you
thing.
just replace everything? That's my
Yeah.
advice. It's what I told them. Why don't you just replace everything? Well,
I'm pretty positive I paid for all of
yeah.
this less
So
than a year ago.
just replace all of it. But that ain't an option, so yeah. Whatever.
I haven't even
Tired.
seen Chrono Trigger this far in.
What? This piece?
Yeah, I saw a couple of the what you're doing.
Yeah, they're all drawn.
Nice. Excuse me.
I got Magus in here earlier. And the backgrounds are going to stay roughy because I'm going to paint those. So I was just drawing these plushies.
Oh.
I have Laurel with the two rocket ships as toys. She's got the little flying car and that jet bike from the...
All right, that's really fun. I like that.
Oh, it's got everything. It's
That's
got
good.
everything. And this piece is going in Game Cave, Volume 1-1.
Nice.
I was like, I'm getting my fucking money's worth out of this shit. Let's see. I'm just trying to remember
So,
what the fuck that monster was.
oh, for the plushies that apparently you have to
I
redraw.
know this right here is Lavos. That one's the other form. I don't know what that one is.
I got on YouTube, so I gotta. It's harder to see where you're pointing. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's. Shit, hold on.
I'm just digging up reference here to be like, well, what the fuck was that? All right, so I can't find those two, but I know I got. Who the hell was? Okay, I'm just going to make someone else up. I don't know who that was I sketched in.
The mushroom looking one?
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Oh, come on. I'm familiar. Damn it.
Normally I make a folder where I put all my reference in one file, so I have it. But in this particular case, the whole thing crashed on me
Mm-hmm.
in midstream. So I even deleted that stream because it was like I didn't save the robo for like,
Mm-hmm.
it was just 15 minutes in. I was trucking and then I
Yeah.
lost it. I'm like, well, that's gone. I gotta redraw that. So see you all when I get back from vacation. All right, so I'm not sure. I just need the characters. I can't do this anymore. I'll figure someone else out. Or maybe I'll just make that the dino. So let's see
The
here.
bridge dino?
There's that. No, the dinosaurs. There's that dinosaur with the fucking Dino King. I don't know. I gotta work all this shit out. So
Yeah, and you get the bridge, like mecha dino, whatever. I mean, it's been a while since I played it.
let's see. I bring up Janice. Should bring up all the supplemental characters. Janice. All right. So fuck. It'd be tedious. So people don't get like half the shit is just digging up the reference. Like what do these characters look? Okay, so homeboy here. Car dude. Gotta go in there. And
Are they all bosses?
no,
Yeah, so how are you going to
just
figure out
King
which is boss?
Zeal. I'm not stuck on that one. I'm moving on, bro. I'll
Okay.
find other characters to put in. I'm just trying to make certain that I'm putting the right ones near the characters that they belong to. That's why I was putting the bosses up in the front because you
Gotcha.
understand what I mean? People get all like,
Conveyance, yeah.
why is that character who hated that character next to that? I get that shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, fucking really? Like, are we really doing this? Are we fucking for real, man? Like, I, I, I used to hear it from Dave. You
Oh,
know,
seriously?
dead serious. I'd draw something and go, why did you put the PSP next to that character? That ain't on PSP. I'm like, Dave, you're really fucking reading into it too much. Like, remember the Critters piece?
Yeah.
Why is Sackboy holding up a Game Boy? He isn't on Game Boy. He is on PSP Go. I had to change it to a PSP Go. It was initially a Game Boy. I'm like, cause the Game Boy's cooler and it's fun. A Sackboy's holding a Game Boy. Get it? Like,
Bro, no.
no one owns a PSP Go. No one remembers PSP Go. I put the shit in that people remember, motherfucker.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. I gotta.
I know.
Wait.
Are you writing this shit down?
No, I'm
Oh.
looking at it.
You don't remember the PSP Go? It's like some of the most useless hardware ever invented. You had to like download all the shit. There was no optical media, no way to load games
Wait, was
other than
this
the PSN.
after
It's 2008,
the.
bro. 2009.
Was this
2000.
after the PSP?
Yeah, it's PSP Go. It slid.
Oh, this was the fourth generation.
Yeah. Commonly known as a piece of shit. You may have heard of it. Like
Oh my goodness. October 2009.
the PlayStation POS.
Hold on 1 second, I'm gonna mute.
All right. so I know that's the guard, that's the wheelie guy. That is... I don't know who the fuck that is. Gotta make sure Toma's in there. King Zeal. What's his face? Dalton. Dalton needs to be in there. I think Dalton's supposed to be that dude right there. And oh man. No, see, she's Cave Girl chick has the little ghoulie dude and the dino. So
Alright, after further investigation, I have no idea how I missed the PSP Go. I don't understand.
No one gave a shit. That's why. You know, came out right during the recession, so perfect timing. But the big thing that was shipping on it was Little Big Planet Go. It's called Little Big Planet Go, if I remember right. Dave made me
So you
change the
had
cover art.
Sackboy holding.
Well, that was gonna be the cover, dude. Yeah, I had Sackboy holding a Game Boy, and then I was gonna put on the Game Boy like Tetris. So I got that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a mascot,
Yeah, sure.
Tetris pieces, and he just did not get that. Like, you know.
Wow, PSP Go. That's crazy. Let's see what they go for on eBay.
Gurus, Lavos.
Because if they're cheap enough, I think I know what I'm getting some Mr. Duenas for Christmas.
I know what I'm going to be making a video of.
Oh, they're only $100.
Yeah. I'll be making a nice breaking video.
I will spend the money so easily.
Yeah, well, let's just...
White or black? White or black?
Let's just get my PC over here, you know, so I can...
It'll get there, but this is going to be a beauty. That is fantastic. So what is it? It would be a breaking a PSP Go in the middle of Mos Eisley.
Wiki. I gotta go to the stupid... I hate digging through Wiki. Try to avoid that.
What, for Chrono stuff?
For anything, man, because they list everything by names. I'm like, I don't need... I want to see the visuals. I don't fucking know what they are. Like...
Oh, to grab.
You know what I'm saying? Like, present. Dalton. Alright. Heck around. Dragon Tank. God damn it. You know what I need?
What do you need?
I need Emu Paradise.
What?
Emu Paradise. Emu Paradise. They have a nice magazine section. I'll go and get the strategy guide. Chrono Trigger strategy guide from 1995. There we go. Right there. Let's download that fucker.
Holy shit.
Oh, you never seen them before? You found a new Happy's place.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, they're cool. Don't let anyone know about that.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you only let 7 people know, so I think we're safe.
And the hundreds of people who watch.
Holy shit.
I just go for the strategy guides. But there's a bit more there than that. Alright. So
we're gonna go ahead and favorite that one. Yeah,
let's take a look,
that's
shall we? Chrono Trigger strategy guide. Back when strategy guides were cool.
right.
They weren't so technical. They could look cool and shit, you know. Wise man. End of time. Wise man. Oh, I forgot about that guy. Guess that's who he is. Zombor. Tata. Guys, it's been like 20 years since I played Chrono Trigger, so just deal with it. I know. Everyone's like, you haven't played it? I played it when the shit was new. I was looking for I knew it before it was coming out, alright? I dated the foreign exchange student, and I saw these pictures in a magazine. I was like, holy fuck, what is that? I thought it was PlayStation. I'm like, that's Super Nintendo. Or Super
Yeah,
Famicom.
I remember that. Seeing the pictures and thinking it was PlayStation.
Yeah. Because the magazine was filled with pictures of Bushido Toshinden. Toshinden.
And that and the intro was the clock, oh, the new whatever. It was in mode 7, so it looked crazy. The I can't remember clock hand thingy.
Rainbow Shell. Queen Zeal and the Mammon. Okay, so she needs to be in there. So that mushroom thing's gonna be Queen Zeal, because I don't fucking know. So we can just get started on those three things.
Where did you get the strategy guide? I'm not seeing it
On
on
the
the main
left, there's
page.
on the left-hand side. There's a little thing that says strategy/game guides under scans. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have to find it.
Yes, I know, I know. Difficult. Do 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 do. All right, so where's my picture of Lavos? So we'll start with this little fucker. Get him drawn. Go here. Please tell me. Oh, did it reset my settings? That's good. Performance. Okay, good. I got a whole drive just as a scratch disk for Photoshop. That's
Yeah, there's a. I've been talking about to my IT guy about doing a backup thing for you.
let's draw this shit. Alright, so I gotta sketch these in first. We need to drag all this stuff way up here. Okay. So peak goes like so. Yeah, dude, so how goes the purlin?
Had to take a break. Work stuff. Work's been a little crazy, so taking some time off.
Game of Thrones is coming up, so
So yeah, that's no longer happening. Um, I'll call you tomorrow and give you a little more detail.
Right.
But
Winter is coming.
yeah, winter's coming. So lots been happening there, which has been weird. But you know, a project's a project.
How's the arcade cabinet?
We the founder of the company took me and his van to Lowe's to get the 4 foot by 8 foot piece of 3/4 MDF that we're building the controller cabinet
Mm-hmm.
out of, because I just had no way of getting it. The only other truck I had was a small little Ranger. Couldn't do it, so he's like, you know what? You let me know if you need some help, and I was like, I need help. So him and I went down to Lowe's and picked it up, and somehow got in his van, which is fun. The TV came in, which was I don't know if you guys know slickdeals.com, free advert here. We got a 50-inch Samsung 4K 60 hertz for $600. So big old piece
Is it
for
3D
the
capable?
hmm?
Is it 3D capable?
No, but it's not even 120 hertz. But we don't need it
Oh,
to
yeah.
be. It doesn't matter as long as it will deal with the multiples of the older games. As long as it'll display a 24 hertz or 20 or 30 hertz, the older games. I still have to look back to
Oh, I
what
know
we're
what this
dealing
is
with.
supposed to be. This is the eyeball guy. It's not a mushroom hat. It's supposed to have. It's that other form of Lavos where he's got the eyeball right here.
You just remembered.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we got the TV in. We've got the stuff for the cabinet. Um, we 3D printed and built that controller. So the whole controller works, all 6 buttons. Um, got LED, orange LEDs for our light up lights, for our LED lights, for our player button and select buttons. This will be orange like the company, because our company logo is orange. So now we have to build the cabinet, the controller cabinet. Um, we have the 4-inch aluminum piping for the frame. Um, yeah, it's gonna be more. We're now in like the construction phase. Our front end is done. All our games are there. The computer's set up. We might we might actually, because I got one of those like micro PCs, one of the smaller ones. We might actually pull the case off of it and pull the fans out and run like a larger fan, because it's basically a laptop in a 4.5 inch by 4.5 inch area.
Mm-hmm.
So when that little GPU, which is a GTX 760, spins up, it's like the thing sounds like a rocket ship. But we built it that way so that you could play computer games on it. We didn't want to just keep it to specifically, old MAME games. So we might actually do a little, like, take the case off and mount some different fans on there so that it doesn't sound crazy when it spins up. But we're getting there. We are getting there, and we're $1,000 under budget, which is nice.
Nice.
Uh huh.
Bonuses for everybody. There's your $10. There's your $10. And there's your $10. And
That would
your
be it
10.
right there.
$1,000 sounds like so much more when it goes to one person.
Yeah, right. Well, there's only 5 of us, but um, it was mostly the TV. In the 6 months between when we started and when we got the TV,
How do you have a 4K 60 hertz television? I don't get that. How's that even possible?
same way you have a 4K. I mean, your hertz is just your imaging processing. It's all progressive, anyways. So how fast do you progressively scan the image? You do it 2 times, or you do it 4 times. 60 hertz 2 times, 120 hertz 4 times for 30 frames per second.
Hey, Johnny says hi. What's up, Johnny? Says hi, Mr. Pixel Art.
How does he know I'm Mr. Pixelart?
Bro, people follow.
Wow, that's very humbling.
I put people on with unique voices so they're easy to track everyone.
What's up, Johnny?
I actually took someone off because they sounded too much like someone else. I was like, you two sound too much alike. That's never gonna work. Like, and they're like, what? We don't sound anything. I'm like, I know you feel that way because you're you, but that's not gonna work. No, we don't sound anything. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
So yeah, it's coming nicely. It's still a lot of work.
You think?
Well, I mean, it would be much less work if we were building an actual cabinet, but we're not. It's going to be 4-inch aluminum tubing that looks like plumbing
Yeah, because
because
you
we're
want
in
to
a
rotate
hundred.
it.
Huh?
Because you want to rotate it, right?
No, 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 because we're
You have
in a
this big rotation
113-year-old
plan.
building.
You have a big rotation plan.
I mean, yes, the screen will rotate,
Hmm
but we want the frame to look like the old plumbing in the building because we're in a 113-year-old building and there's exposed plumbing everywhere. So we're like, oh, let's make it look like a plumbing. So it looks like old plumbing. So when it's done, it'll be a big, beautiful 4-player cabinet with a 50-inch 4K TV on this crazy old steampunk looky aluminum piping frame that holds everything up.
And
That's
we're
the
gonna
idea, anyways.
and we're gonna let Rob over to play. It's gonna be awesome.
Hey, man, you're gonna come up here eventually, which means you have full access.
Eventually.
Well, I mean, it's already April. I don't know how busy you're gonna be. Oh, and I don't know. When's the next con you're going to?
Vegas.
What time? When is it?
June.
I might be able to pull that. I want to go to the next con, like real bad.
It's a small con. It's just
I don't
happens to be in
care.
Vegas. So,
I don't care.
even if the con sucks, you're in Vegas. Like, yeah, that works.
Well, I mean, I heard you only want to be in Vegas for a short time, anyways.
Well, the wife will be there, so yeah.
Well, I still want to go. When's the next con after that?
Next year.
April next year?
I have no clue.
Or
Maybe
wait?
Vegas the following June. I haven't decided if there'll be a con other than that Vegas con. If you really want my opinion, like, this idea of
Are
going
you
to this
driving?
idea of spending money going to conventions in which
I
I have
know.
to hustle to make
I
back,
know.
the kind of money I could just make in like a day on Kickstarter. Like if that, maybe an hour. I mean, I don't get it.
I know. I know. I
I don't
know.
understand it.
I know. But you'd still do it.
Johnny wants me to go
That's
to Calgary, which I'm sure is a lovely con, but it's still. See, that's my thing, right? Like, if I want to go somewhere on vacation, I don't want to hustle. You know what I mean? Like, I've never understood the concept of the work vacation. Like, I
mm-hmm.
did that enough when I was up in the mountains recently because I did a lot of writing. Um, Mostly the kind of writing I do when I'm on vacation is structural, like ideas and structure.
Yeah.
But I've been a little bit behind on my writing schedule because of power prints and everything. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'll use this to get back in the groove. So if my head hurts, I can go take a walk, hike, come back and not feel like I have to also draw and everything else. Unfortunately, I work too much. Get myself massive headaches writing too much. Uh, I just can't imagine having to go and.
Well, lucky for Johnny, Calgary's only like 600 miles from Seattle, so it wouldn't
Yes,
be that
yeah,
far for me to
not
go.
that far.
Yeah, you'd have to fly, but I might be able to drive up there.
I think it's a 2-hour drive from my girl's sister's place to that con, and I'm like, I can't. I don't know, Johnny. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna. I mean,
It's not he doesn't
here's
want
how
to.
this works when I go places I've never been before. I don't drive. You've seen that. I beg anyone to drive. I'll pay whatever I got to do because the most dangerous situations you can do is drive somewhere you've never been to before. Like you don't know where you're going. You don't know where the danger spots are. Like it's
True.
tough.
And the only reason you called me when you were driving to Arizona is because you already knew the drive.
Yeah.
And you
But
were
if it weren't
bored
you, it
out of
would have
your
been
mind.
It would have been Uber. Actually, what would have happened was, and I'm dead serious, I would have sat at the airport and been like, couldn't couldn't get anywhere.
Oh, no, that's when you're
Cause
up here. No, I'm talking about when you're driving to Arizona for the con down there.
yeah, but
When when you called me and you were like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're driving."
oh yeah, well I was out in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere.
But the only reason
But
you did
normally
is
I
because
spend
you
that
knew where you
time.
were going.
Yeah, and also normally I spend that time like listening to shit. But uh,
Sounds like a podcast trip.
yeah, I have. I listen to. I'll be honest. I jump between Howard Stern and a guy I've been listening to since '98, Shane R. Monroe, who he's
Hmm.
been doing various podcasts. He did retro gaming radio, dual screen radio, and now he's been doing passenger seat radio, where he just records himself on the way to work and back. I enjoy listening to Shane. I don't always agree with him, but he's a good voice. I actually pay for Patreon for him. I give him Patreon money.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I give back.
How much?
So
How much is Patreon for? Isn't it like $10 or something like that?
no,
If you
that's like three
lower end?
bucks a month, dude. You know what I mean? He doesn't try. He doesn't ask for much. He doesn't turn this stuff into business. He does something. To make it worth all the effort. So, um, it's the place he live at. You live near Seattle, so, um, but so I'll listen to Shane, and I have podcasts from 1998 on forward. You know, so.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah. And some of those older podcasts, he had dudes on there that got into pinball repair for like 2 hours, dude. So like just listening to guys go through and repair pinball machines and get into all the particulars of the motherboards and the different
I could
refresh
totally do
rates.
that.
Yeah, like I was like,
Totally do that.
it was one of my favorite sections on the cast. I was like, I love this shit. And the guys sound like they're totally from like Alabama and shit too. So they got that cool, they got that cool motor pool voice. That kind of, they talk like they got gumball mouth or something.
You gotta
Uh,
send me a couple
all
links,
I
man.
hear is a bucket of gumballs when they talk. Like that's all I hear. Like I think of gumballs, and that didn't sound right, but you know what I mean.
Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. I'd be down. I think I'll be needing some podcasts soon.
So I'll put the queen chick right there.
So, what did you do for the front of the case and the picture for the cartridge? Because
Huh?
those look very similar and those look very hard to draw.
I drew
And I
the
think
case,
you
and
made
then I
them.
duplicated that and moved it.
That's what I thought.
I'm not doing it twice.
I figured. Because
I,
that
I,
looks.
I drew
I
this.
was like, that's very delicate.
I drew the Star Wars logo 800 fucking times, dude. I've paid my dues. I drew the case art. All right.
Yeah, and then you put it on
Right.
the. Why are you blacking out?
Uh.
What are you doing?
Oh no, that's just when you off click sometimes. Photoshop will default to it'll hide it and go to the screen. My screen's black. The background.
Okay.
My in-laws, Edmonton, I think. Edmonton. You use Windows, you click on something and then it like hides, auto hides.
Mhm.
That's all. It's just the background is black. I don't believe in putting images on my desktop. I don't appreciate that whole idea.
Are you gonna get mad at me when you get your rig back and it's got Windows 10 on it?
No, we already talked about that.
I know. I'm just making sure. Because I can change that while I still have the power.
Oh, I might be a little disappointed if I get the rig back in October, but you know what I mean? Like, other than that, like, just in time for Halloween. Or BlizzCon,
Merry
yay! Dude,
Christmas.
BlizzCon tickets are $200. The funny part is, if you go to BlizzCon and just walk outside, they throw their tickets on the ground because they just go in there to get the free swag and walk out. Like,
Seriously?
mm-hmm. So if you just want to go to BlizzCon, don't pay for it. Just go to BlizzCon and just the second or third day, just look on the ground. You can grab anyone's ticket and walk in. It's just they use the ticket. They give a bunch of free shit when you go, so that's what they're there.
So yesterday, Mara and I went to Comic Con because it's Emerald City Comic Con, and we bought 3-day passes back in like October, September, something like that. And we went in. We got there. We took the day off. We got there like it started at 2, so we walked in and first hit Artist Alley, like you would, and just kind of dicked around. Bought one piece of artwork for one of my coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And then like my niece started bugging me, so we walked outside and sat down and took some ibuprofen or something like that. Walked back in, holding the artwork that we had purchased, and this old lady's like, "Oh, you have a 3-day pass." And we're like, "Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday." And they're like, "Nope, 3-day passes are only Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can't go back in. Sorry." And like, we were literally just in there for like an hour and a half. We already bought artwork. Like, yeah, you can't go back in. I'm like, okay, well, guess we'll come back Friday and Saturday and Sunday and do exactly what we were just doing. Or, yep, at that point we're like, okay, I guess we just leave. Because we'd already been in there, like, we'd already, like, hit the whole Artist Alley. And we'd already walked past that place, like, 3 times. So, they don't, I think it was just people were like, "Do you have a thing? Cool." But yeah, one lady busted us.
With a volunteer, what's her face got you, right?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know. She was mad. She wasn't having it. So we had to leave. We didn't have to leave, we just couldn't go in. But we'd already been in.
What was the name of the con?
It's Emerald City Comic Con.
Oh yeah, I guess he went to Emerald City.
Yeah. It's Seattle. So
You would think the Emerald City Con would be in Kansas.
you would think. Let's see what you did there.
That's why I thought it was in Kansas. I'm like, you went to Kansas?
Because seriously, wait, you're seriously, you thought
I don't
it was
know
actually...
these cons, bro. I don't go to those cons. I couldn't tell.
I agree, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
Emerald
I
City
think what you have
Comic
to
Con
remember too, like,
is Seattle.
Here's the thing. You gotta remember, like, I've been drawing for a long time, right? But I have worked for assholes, so like,
That is
like I couldn't
shit.
ever get time off to go to cons that were right down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need that time
Mhm.
off. Why? Well, I was going to con. That's not an you need to be working. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Well, if you go, you're gonna get written up, because that's not, and they don't give paid vacation. Even the best they ever gave was if you work there a year, you might get 5 days off.
That's so
No
weird.
one really ever worked there a year. Now you work a year, I hear you get like 1 day off. I'm not joking.
Is that like the... Are we talking the last place that you were
Yeah,
at?
yeah.
Or
I was just hearing it the other day from someone.
the last place you were at?
No, the place before that. The last place I was at, the guy who just had the #1 selling shirt, sold hundreds of thousands worth of shit, they gave him a $25 gift card. As a big thank you. No, sorry, $50. My bad. $50 gift card. Big thank you. You're gonna get something for that. Oh, that's great. They gave him $50.
I literally almost just spit my drink out.
Yeah. Don't spend that all in one spot, dude. So I had a life before I became a professional artist. I'm just starting to get that life back.
Jesus Christ.
I'll be honest. Being an artist was harder time than being in the military.
All of you aspiring artists, listen to what he just said.
Yeah.
Because I know some of the stories.
It's not worth it. My advice is get a
And
job at Fry's. You know what I mean? And do art on the side.
wait, you got a fries down there?
Yeah, we got Fry's. Fry's is everywhere, man. They're like Walmart.
No, they are not. There was like 4 fries. There's not that many fries.
No, man, they got them in Arizona. Shane has been complaining about Fry's since like 2000.
No, fuck Shane.
No, don't say that, dude. No, 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 no. I don't. No, don't. That's not it.
Sorry, Shane.
We like Shane,
It was a joke.
but poor guy got stuck at Fry's the other day. He was going on for an hour and a half about just trying to reclaim rebates and explaining to people in the UK what a rebate was. And so like it was it goes down for this power supply that was $89 with a $20 rebate. Fry's doesn't honor it, so they give you a rebate receipt. You go in, he logs into the fucking site, and they're like, "Here, we'll start your rebate process." So that took an hour. You can't even type in the UPC code. You have to fill out an account to create a whole account with them. You know, then you got to pick the model number and shit. And then they're like, yeah, once you sign out the rebate, it voids your warranty, your return, so you can't return. You know. So.
Oh, fantastic!
And then you have to mail the shit in, right? They got a special thing. You have to put it on this little spot on the specific paper when you send it in.
For $20.
Oh, he's like, you know what? I've gone this far. You know, he gets it all done, right? Sends it in. And he goes, okay, we'll ship you out a $20 MasterCard. It's a card, right? Charge card. In 8 to 12 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 to 12 weeks.
How many hours worth of work to get
Right.
$20 in 3 months?
Yeah.
And you're right. There used to be 3 fries. They are now all over the place.
Yeah, they're all over the place now.
Jesus, they're all over the place. When did they start making that many fries?
Well, it's weird because some of them are electronic stores, but some of them are also grocery stores. Like they do a whole Fry's groceries and shit.
What?
Oh yeah. They sell groceries. And they don't have any electronics in those. So you'll go in there and go, where's the, what the fuck? Like kale. Like, you know. Well, why?
Going in for a motherboard and you're like, kale?
Uh-huh.
What is this?
Yeah, no, I don't need figs. I need a USB drive. You know? What? Where am I?
Whoa.
What happened to Fry's?
Whoa. And there's a Fry's in San Diego.
Yeah, I live right by it. When I was in high school, it was called Incredible Universe. Radio Shack built this store called Incredible Universe that bankrupted Radio Shack. If you really want to know, they've never recovered since. Like people, what happened to Radio Shack? They're like, oh, it must be the no, it's not the handhelds, it's not the mobiles, the iPhone. It's something called Incredible Universe. It was quite incredible. It was this giant. I don't know how to describe it. It came out this summer. It came out in '95, so it was the summer after Batman Forever.
Mm-hmm.
But when you went in there, it was all dark with music and neon lights. It looked like Gotham City in Batman Forever. And they were playing that VHS tape, Laserdisc, whatever, on everything at the time. And everything was, they had tons of shit for free. Like giant leather sofas, giant screen TV. I was playing Jumping Flash. So I used to live down the street, coincidentally from here, with my mom for about 6 to 8 months. And I would just walk down there after work with my dinner and go in there. They had these great soundproof THX rooms. No one ever bothered you. It was their mandate not to talk to you. No one ever talked to you. Like you could just go in there and I just lived there, dude. Like, and then I would go to another computer and play Myst for hours, dude. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, and I'd save my file on their drive and it would be there the next day. That's why it didn't work.
Okay, can you like Easter egg Incredible Universe somewhere in Game Cave, please?
At some
That
point,
would be
maybe. I might find
amazing.
a way. I might find a way.
Just
The problem
some
is
back paragraph.
maybe we'll see.
Come on, that'd be funny as hell. Well, I mean, to me and you.
The problem is they have their own games, but I only get into the VR side. They used to have their own pixel games, but I can't. What will happen is at some point I have to sit down and work out 2,000 years of their own games. You understand what I mean? And I don't feel like doing that right now, and it's not necessary to the story I'm telling at this point. So But at that point, I will invent some store like an Incredible Universe that existed 1,000 years before GameCube.
That would be pretty funny. I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, you see it all the time.
Although, when I lived in Issaquah, we used to go down to the Radio Shack that had XCOM, Terror from the Deep, the second XCOM game, but they had the full version. So my buddy and I would go in and make buddy with the workers, and then just sit there and play XCOM for like hours.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Hours at a time.
I would find that sometimes the guys would you know, they try to get rid of you. If every now and then one guy would come up and be like, "Oh, you know, no." So what I would do is, to get people to leave me alone, is I would wear a really nice dress shirt and a tie, right? And when they saw me in that, I spiff up like a little nerd, you know, and they would just leave me alone, like, you know. And so then I just started wearing that to work. It was the first week I started working at Playco. I got a job at Playco. And I didn't get a job in Incredible Universe because I didn't think they were going to survive. You know, I'm like, I mean, it's an incredible store, but I can't see this working out. And no one's buying anything because you don't have to. Dude, they even had music CD listening stations, so I just listened to all the CDs there. You know?
There was a couple of like music stores that had CD music stations, aside from like Barnes and Nobles and stuff. I remember listening to the first Mortal Kombat soundtrack. And one of those.
Yeah. Well, there was Blockbuster Music. Remember that? Like, they had their whole thing. They had Blockbuster music stores. That was like...
Yeah, that's right.
It looked kind of like Empire Records.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Damn. I haven't thought about that in years.
You know, I've been having to live in the 90s, going over all my notes for Game Cave, so...
Well, I mean, technically, you're not lying. The amount of content.
Oh yeah, I already got into this whole thing. I was writing about the bot rebellion. So you know, we had Y2K that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, over there, Y2K really did happen to them, and it basically trapped everyone who was in the Rift, their VR, you know, malls and shit. It trapped everyone, and then the bots, because no one ran stores. They had computers called bots run them. Because why would humans run VR stores? Just have your computer do it. And so the glitch caused all the robots to massacre people. So they had to they had Game Cave. They had Kill Screen and Monotoid, which is my version of Monitor. It's Kill Screen, big red guy. Monotoid's this little fucker. And so Monotoid was like the leader of the fucking bot rebellion. So I had to go and get into a bit of that history. Y2 Carnage.
Y2 Carnage.
Yeah. The bot rebellion, the great reboot, 510 MA. Their years count down, so every year it gets less and less time. Until
I wish you had the time to make a shirt like that.
What?
Just have a picture of that guy being like the new rebellion or whatever, and like have you could like the old like the Metropolis look to it. That'd be fun, but it'll only be funny to those who know it. It's the hard part.
But yeah. Like I said, all the writing's going to be being sent out for copy editing in May, early next month. It's almost done. So I've just had to adjust all the reviews that I wrote 2 years ago to fit the format of the actual magazines they occurred in. So before they were just
you got the page number down, right?
Well, yeah, it's 142 pages.
Mm-hmm.
The book. But there's 4 different versions of Game Cave. Over 30 years. And I put the format in each one, each with its own theme. So the first theme was like Nintendo Power, but it was all Sword Dungeons and Dragons themed. So they had things like the Wizard's Keep, where they had strategy guides, the Royal, the Royal Picks, which is like the top 50 games, the King's Ransom, which was their contest, where they had a contest every month until something went really bad. Stopped doing that. Missives and Musings, where there's fan letters and fan art. And then the second version of GameCube was like Game Fan, was all techno, cyberpunky, and every section has an exclamation point after it, so it's counterpoint, exclamation point. PC Sector, Console Junkies,
There you go.
all those screenshots like Game Fan. And then the fourth version was like Play Magazine, all super clean, sterile, super clean,
Sterile.
Yeah, just solid colors, big screen. All of their game editors were old too. Like Rad went with older people at the time because they were more reliable. They turned in their work on time and shit. Until they died on him, and he lost his fucking writing curve, so he had to reboot again to Game Fan 2010. That's the style, what I was doing in Game Fan with the scrapbook style stuff and the Bible looking thing, where it was like journal writings, and where it wasn't really about reviews, it was about different sections that had a theme. Like I got one called Rad Rage, where Rad just throws down a game, like fuck this shit, don't ever, this is not worth your time. There's Die Hard Gamers, which is gamers who want series to come back. I got a whole thing on Darkstalkers. Best of the Rest, which is like 25 to 55 different games on a page. Hero Worship, which is about game developers. So have like, instead of the journal format, I make it look like a Bible, where Game Devs 316. It's all these like biblical quotes, but worshiping Hironoko Sakugachi, the creator of Final Fantasy, Shigeru Miyamoto, stuff like that. So yeah, and I have all the issues worked out, every cover art worked out, all the interior, so all the editors that existed in each era, and they have different gaming scores. Like the first era, they rated things by gold coins, because Cave. 4 tiers. There was graphics, sound, controls, and radness, which was a game's enjoyment factor. Yeah, a game's enjoyment factor. And then they eventually moved to GFX. Graphics.
GFX.
Yeah, GFX. Because the 90s, Cyberpunk.
Mode 7 came out.
Touchability instead of controls, it's touchability. Funky tunes would be the sound, in the 90s. And that was same tier, 4 tiers, and then there was originality. And then there was 4 tiers, because Rad started originality because there were too many sequels starting to come out. That was the era where they started making more sequels to games. And so he was like, yeah, that could be a knock against you, And then eventually you get the play era where, and that was rated by 0 to 100. Instead of coins, it was 0 to 100 across 4 different tiers, and then you get an overall cumulative score. And then eventually it moved to plus and minuses. No, there was no rating. At Play, we didn't have any rating score. Dave got rid of it. Well, Dave didn't get rid of it. They got rid of it, and Dave hated that. But, so Rad got rid of the rating score and just gave things a plus and a minus. And then when he rebooted back to Game Cave, modern Game Cave, it's just buy it, rent it, trash it. Or gut it. Buy it, rent it, trash it, gut it. Because he hires mostly monsters now. Because they're like his biggest customer base. And so like half their reviews, they're like pretending to like eat you or devour you, or they're just different characters. There's like Dr. Sugarstein or Voodoo Jack or Hacksaw Delacroix, Mochi, shit like that. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot to read. Put it that way.
I've been waiting for 3 years. I know I've.
Yeah, well, you'll be getting one every year now, so the first 2 will come back to back, and then I'll do Game Cave and original story, Game Cave and original story. So.
How far or how long are the first 2 going to be?
Within 6 to 8 months.
Ooh.
The writing will
I
be
mean, well,
done.
I mean,
You
you
got to
you
remember
do
the
have the
writing.
content,
The
so
writing will. Well, first off, you got to remember too. Like, I'm not inventing a universe every time I go to do this shit. You know what I
well,
mean? Like, that's all worked out. So once, and I know the page counts, I know the format, I know the look of everything. Half is deciding, bro. You know, like,
mm,
what does this look like? Why would Rad change from this format to that format? I mean, the different magazines in our universe changed the look because they went out of business. You know what I mean? Like, that
or
didn't
somebody
happen over
bought
there.
them and you got a new
Right.
art
That didn't
director.
happen over there. And I'm not so that didn't so I had to come up with valid reasons and timelines, and there's so many there's master timelines and timelines for each character based off the master timeline. And everything intersects with one another. So anytime I create something, I have to go and triple check all my continuity, you know? So that's really been a lot of that. So everything syncs up. Also, you have to create compelling story character arcs, you know? Like, well, there has to be a story here too.
Yeah,
So first you envelop the universe, and then you create the character arcs, and then you have to make sure they don't clash. And then, so I mean, it's not something anyone's going to be able to steal. Put it that way. You know, like there's
no.
too much effort involved.
Anybody who's listening that knows what's going on, there is so much character and content here.
But
It's
the thing is
crazy.
for it to be fun. You know, like it's just fun. And a lot of this, what I'm saying, isn't necessary to getting the story. It's just all there.
Uh-huh.
You know, as you want to read more about it, I have more info. And the trick is when I put in info is to make certain that I'm not repeating. So let's say they talk about, you know, let's say Truffles talks about some Game Cave history. When I go to the Game Cave history page, I'm not repeating that same info. I
Hmm.
may get Rad's take on some of the events, you know, um, because he's writing about that section in past tense because it takes place in Game Cave 1. All the excerpts are from Game Cave issue 100,
Hmm.
which is this massive issue he's been making for 2 or 3 years. That's like made out of solid gold, has a solid gold cover, and yeah, it's solid gold. Has all the excerpts right of everything he's been
So, like,
doing,
from the Mummy.
and it's going to cost him dearly for doing that. But he'll pay for that one eventually. Yeah, just you know, if you're gonna do something, you gotta do it for real. Like I went to this screening of 10 Cloverfield Lane a few weeks back.
Oh, you saw that.
I went with I went and then the director showed up, Dan Trachtenberg, for about an hour or two and did Q&A and his history and everything. So and one of the last things he left on was something that you know I've been saying to myself, and I think it's true. Is like, you know, eventually you get to the point where you know you make a lot of stuff, and that's good. Then you got to get to the point where you make one thing really really well. Like you do it for real, no compromises. Everything you can do, you know, what you're capable of actually doing, and that's going to take a lot longer than it should. You know, but that's the transformation period, and I'm like, that's what Game Cave and everything I've been doing is, you know, like transformation period. That
I would
we,
agree with that with you, but is that what he was saying for himself, though?
yeah, like that's why he made the portal thing. That's what the portal thing was, you know.
Hmm.
When he made that, that changed his whole career, you know. And bro, they spent $10 million on 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like they're doing quite fine. Like, no,
Oh, speaking of
the movie was
movies,
good.
I have not seen Batman v Superman yet. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
I know, but I was
Ben
supposed to
Affleck's
watch it.
getting his own Batman movie, dude. He already wrote the fucking script, so and they've announced two
Yeah, he
dates.
also wrote
So,
Good Will Hunting. Asshole.
yeah, he co-wrote that, and he wrote Argo. Well, he did the story base for that, but he wrote Gone Baby Gone and To the Town. So if you haven't seen those, then there you
I
go.
know, I know, I know. I got stuff to watch.
He has his own Batcave. You know that?
Ouch. That's only 2 weeks, but damn. 694 million worldwide so far. 2 weeks.
I don't care. You know, like it's a kind of a broke movie. Whatever. I say as a film, it's a 2.5. As a superhero thing, it's probably a 3. You know, because they don't get like it's not like Batman and Robin. You're like, oh fuck, you know, oh shit, you know, like oh
Yeah.
that someone's, you know. But it's just a movie that does too much. You know, doesn't really have character arcs and shit, and has So you could just see where the studio heads were like, we got to put this in and that in. The editing, you know.
Do you think it was the editing they said to bring in, or do you think it was
Oh, they
somebody up
brought it
being
after
like,
the fact,
"Hey,
way after the fact. You could
you need to
tell.
like,
No,
let's do this."
shit was inserted after the fact. You can just
Yeah,
tell. Yeah,
because that's
big time.
being in my industry, that happens a lot.
And yeah,
They're like,
and
"Hey,
it
we
was
got this product," and they're like, "Oh,
oh,
hey,
case in
some
point.
guy that knows nothing, like marketing dude or product guy, is
You want
like,
to know
oh,
what game
let's
you
do
can feel it
this."
in? One of the games you can feel it in the most? BioShock, the first game. Game's trucking along, you're like, this is amazing, it's cinematic, and then you get to that level where they fill everything in with green gas and you have to fucking go back, start backtracking for no reason.
Hmm.
You're like, wow, someone said we have to make this last 20 hours. You know what I mean? You're just fucking chewing
Oh,
up my motherfucking time.
one of those feelings of like, let's draw this out.
Oh yeah, big time. You know?
It's just like watching all the cutscenes from Mass Effect video games, but missing all the stuff from playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be busy tomorrow. How long are you be drawing tonight?
Until about 3 or 4 or 5 a.m., give or take. I'm trying to wrap up all these plushies.
Well, I'm gonna fall asleep before that,
I
but
just didn't think I'd spend so long trying to read every
you.
reference, huh?
I'm gonna hang out with you for a while on here, but you should definitely text me because there's some shit I gotta tell you.
Alright.
It's very interesting.
Not good with texting though, man. That's why I prefer just to shoot the shit. That's why I call you. Like I try to call you when I'm walking, so we can just shoot the shit.
Well,
You know.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I would talk
You've
to
been.
you on Skype, but we're
Oh
streaming
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Nothing I
like,
can do about that. But yeah, I hear you. We'll do.
because I'm gonna tell you about it, and you're gonna be like, oh, but right now we can't do it, so let's just have fun. Oh, and there are not nearly as many artists at a convention that are as good as you.
No, they make more money than me. Guarantee it.
Because they go there and smear themselves.
I have no idea, dude. I've not. There's guys that have 84,000. I mean, there's guys that make a grip, dude. You know what it is, man. I don't spend thousands of dollars on banners and you know what I mean. 10 foot high ceiling, fucking full of prints, and so you know.
You think that's what it is?
Well, part of it is, yeah. I've seen, you gotta put it right in there. Plus, you gotta have one of everything. So you gotta draw everything really poorly because you need one of everything. It's the only way it can get done. You know. The time it took me to draw this, someone could have just painted something that looked like Chrono Trigger also. Like Digipaint. It could be loose and just some big head or something. This drawing all this shit takes forever. If I
Yeah.
digipainted everything, it'd be 10 times fucking faster. But you know, I'm not going to do that because I gave up on that. I'm like, I just draw, man. Like, if the shit takes me forever, whatever.
I went through the entire artist alley and the secondary artist alley, and I will say there was not a single artist that had your style. Booyah, bitch, what's up?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, that was a compliment.
Well,
Nobody was doing what you're doing. Nobody was showing what you're showing. And the places that I went to that I bought artwork from was not the people that were just spewing out. It was DC, Marvel, and Miyazaki content. That was
right.
all their shit. There was two people that I saw from DeviantArt that I recognized, and aside from that, there was a
Well, I'm
handful.
not even taking prints from now on, man.
No, I'm just saying
I'm gonna
there
be
was a
honest.
handful. There was a handful of people that are doing their own thing, and everyone else, it was just prints of.
Once I got Game Cave done, I'm done with prints, like completely.
Well, I know, but
Like,
you still have your own style of how you do things.
I mean, I might offer one as I print stuff, like, because I got to make interior art. Like, this is interior art, right? So If I make something for, let's say, uh, I'll pick a game, dude. I'm blanking right now.
Final Fantasy 3
Right. So
or
if I draw
6.
something for Final Fantasy 3, right? So like people go, oh, you got a print of that? I'll send you one. You know what I mean? Or maybe during the game cave, like Kickstarter, I'll be like, oh yeah, there'll be a print, a fantasy print, but I won't name it. It'll be
Hmm.
included in a special thing. So, but in terms of power prints, dude, that shit, I'm done with that.
Which I agree with. I was thinking about that a lot today, and I think there's a way around it.
I don't need a way around it.
Where,
I'm just tired of it. You
well,
understand?
no, not doing it again, but having the prints available. I think, and I have to do my research on it, but I think there is a way to be able to do high DPI color prints, like 11 by 17 and such, where you can just do them, like spend, 2 or 3 grand on this printer, and then you can just
Not
pop prints out when you want.
not going to happen. Not spending 2 or 3 grand on a printer. I'm 38, dude. You know what I'm saying? 38. I'm done with that. There is nothing you could say on God's green earth that can change my mind.
All right, hold on.
I'm not spending,
I'm doing math. Say it was 4 grand, and we sold each
not
print
doing
for
it,
15 bucks.
not doing it. I'd rather spend 2 grand and
That's
like
only 267
I don't ever
prints.
want to ship a grip of prints, bro. You understand what I mean? I'm done. I've done it. I've done it. I'm done.
I know, but you're gonna make a lot of people sad.
No, I'm not, because I'm gonna make other stuff like sketchbooks or you know what I mean. The art will be in Game Cave, and then I'll have art of sketchcraft. I'll have more time for commissions, like saucy commissions. Put them all in books. Be able to do landscape sketchbooks and shit. I'm gonna have different things,
Mm-hmm.
man. I'm gonna
I know.
continue to make art that people can buy, and more room for people to get something that's not so complex. So not every commission I do is a $400, 30-hour process. You know what I mean? So you know, but this idea of me doing this all the time, like
No, I
I'm
know, I
done.
know, I know.
I don't enjoy it. It
What if
hasn't made
what
it
if
doesn't make me
I buy
happy.
a really nice printer, and then you do we can just print them out there,
I don't
and
want to
then
do this. I don't want a booth full of prints. I cannot begin to describe to you how I don't want to do it anymore. You know?
fair enough.
I'm sick of it.
How many
You know?
cons have you done?
Since 2004,
Yeah.
50, 60.
Oh my God.
I'm done, man. I'm tired.
Okay, I can understand that.
And out of those 50 or 60 cons, you know how many times I took a sketchbook or a comic book that I drew and colored? 0 times.
Yeah.
Because I've never been able to make the time to, or I didn't have the talent to, because I didn't. So there's just a different era for me. I don't want to be known as guy who draws prints guy. You know, I just don't. I have, I can write, I can create, I can make characters, I can write dialogue, I can do storytelling. That's what I
How
want to be
long do
known
you have
for.
to sit there at the con? Is that from beginning to end?
Yeah. So I'm
So
there
if it
from.
starts at 10 and it ends at
If it
7,
starts at 10, I'm there at 8. You understand what I mean? So I'm
and then
up
you're
by 6 or 7,
leaving.
an hour after it closes at least, because you got to
Oh,
pack everything up. Plus you got to get back, and then you got commissions to work on the night too. You see what I'm saying?
oh, that sounds terrible.
It's a lot of work, and I don't mind doing some a convention, but it's gonna be I got Game Cave there, or my new sketchbooks that I
Hmm.
redid, and I'll just be there to do commissions, and sell the books, you know.
Damn, that sounds like a lot.
So that has to happen at some point. You got to grow up, man. You know, and I have to grow up and be like, okay, look, I'm done with that. That part is over. One of these lives has a future, Mr. Anderson, and one of these doesn't. You know,
Mr. Baggins.
you know. And so for me, it's I only did the prints because I couldn't do anything else. I mean, gosh, t-shirts, man. It's a big mistake. Like tonight, a guy that I worked with. So back in 2012, I got tasked with trying to save Star Wars, and that's when I did that big rant about what they need to do to fix Star Wars with the
Hmm.
movie, and they're like, "That's never gonna happen." So one of the shirts that I did was my favorite cover coincidentally was the novelization for Return of the Jedi, where it was just the lightsaber. Remember
Yeah.
that one? So I was
Hmm.
like, oh, so I'll put that lightsaber. I'll put all three: a blue, a green, and a red. Just the lightsabers on the shirt says Star Wars. Oh, I got the shit kicked out of me for that one. This will never work. It's boys. What technique would be on there? I'm like, I don't know what technique. It's just lightsabers, man. Like fucking, I don't know, high density or
Less is
something.
more, bro.
And no, never work. So after I leave, that shirt sells a grip. And now they do knockoffs. So a guy that I work with is like, oh, here's my shirt at Walmart. It's my shirt. He just rotated the lightsabers 45 degrees. You know? I'm like, that's my shit, dude. Like, you didn't, like, I mean, how did you come up with that wonderful fucking idea, bro? You know what I mean? Just out of curiosity.
Just
And
wondering.
if he didn't come up with it and it came straight from the style guide, that means, I actually believe is what happened. I think that LucasArts takes the highest selling ones, or Disney takes the highest selling ones now, creates their own versions of the shit you did, puts it back on their style guides. So
Well,
everyone gets
sure,
that
because
shit.
then if they rotate it 15 degrees and then
Yeah, it's
make some minor
10% different, but
alterations.
if I rotate the Star Wars logo 15 degrees, I get sued for copyright infringement,
Hmm.
you know? So that's why I'm like, that's why this whole fucking argument over, who owns what is just ridiculous, you know? So I'll have fan art. It will be in my video game review of Chrono Trigger in Game Cave Volume 1-1 coming out soon. Go buy it. Oh, it's not fan art. It's a review for a video game, so it's marketing. So it doesn't you can't get me. Haha. You know. But
Everything at Comic Con was fan art. Like I said, there was a handful of original people. They're
well,
doing stuff like
they
you
don't have a
do.
choice though. See, when I was at Comic Con when I was a kid, everyone went there to buy the new thing. The problem is now people bring their kids, they're spending hundreds of dollars. They want to get their kids something that they already know. Or they want to get something that they already know, like a sketch cover or something they already know.
Hmm.
And so that's turned into a situation where you have to. I was there, I watched it go from one thing to the next, due to the resale market and sketch covers and reselling commissions. That's why bigger guys are like, I'm no longer doing commissions because people resell them for $500. This is where it all started around 2001, 2005. I was there for it. Before that time, when you went to Con and Artist Alley, the Artist Alley was usually just pros. You could buy a spot. You had to be on a waiting list no matter where you went. And they had very strict rules about height, one thing, and it can have one banner, and everyone sold their own books. This is my book, it's my character, and everyone was pitching books. It's all changed. And the conventions did it. And they like to
I
blame
saw
artists.
two
And artists
pros.
blame
That's
each
it.
other. It's fucking crazy. They go, this artist did this. No, it's not because of that. It's because these fucking conventions got out of fucking control. You know?
I almost got a commission from the original Donald Duck artist.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like Scrooge McDuck, dude. Like I'm a big Scrooge. I like ducks so much, right? Like the duck
Hmm.
verse. I have a duck planet in Game Cave. It's called Ducktooine.
Duck Tuing.
Yeah, it's another planet. Yeah, their main capital is Gandalore, and you meet a Gandalorian right in the book. Like I got a whole section on that. Yeah, that's where Bombcat ship's from. The Jolly Dagger is
Yeah.
from Gandalore. Yeah, there's a whole duck there, and they have. It's actually foul first. So, yeah, they're kind of xenophobic. They don't like mammals. So like mice and shit are like looked down upon, and
Foul,
ducks are number
foul
one. Yeah, ducks are
first.
number one, and reptiles are okay because they lay eggs, but mammals are disgusting to them. Like they don't like they're messy, fur, natural births and shit. It's crazy, and they're a little xenophobic. Why are sketch cover themed just because of commission? Because the sketch cover has a logo on it, so they can sell them. They can resell them for $300, $400 a pop once they have a grading. See, what happened to the comic book industry and what they try to
BRB.
elude. Johnny has a question. So what they tried to elude in that movie, The Image Revolution, about they said, oh, a lot of trading cards guys came into the comic book market, created the speculators thing because they crashed the trading cards and came into comic book markets. It's kind of true, and that's what Wizard Magazine was. The Seamus family, Gareb Seamus and them, they owned a series of trading card companies. So when they made Wizard, they made it just like their trading card magazines, and that's why you had these checklists in the back where you could be like, oh, I got this book, I got that book, just like you could trading cards. And they used to put them in sealed containers and put them behind the glass, and they overcharge them and overvalue them, but they weren't really worth that much. What's happened since is that CCG thing, where the comics grading, CGC or whatever, the comics grading code or whatever. So now what they do is they take the sketch covers, which are officially licensed because they're a real comic book now. Comic book companies print these things, right? So you draw them, they go right into it. There's a whole company. There's companies that do this. I've heard. I was every year they try to recruit me into this little scheme. They go, well, so you get into these groups, and what they do is they already have these things pre-sold for between 100 and 400 bucks a pop, and they want a specific character on there, and they go right onto the thing, and you never even see the person. You just give it to your headhunter, and the headhunter gets a collection. Mike, that's a whole industry no one knows about. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you right now, dude, that when I hear that, I want to rage. I want to fucking son of a woman, I want to take a flamethrower to this place. I'm like, I just want to create my own worlds. I don't want any part of this. It's fucking madness. You know? If it's a guy who comes up to you and he's a fan and he wants something, I get it. But this is an industry designed around feeding off artists, and it keeps artists from creating things, from being creators. Which is what I got in the comic book industry for in the first place when I was a kid, to be a creator. Creators' rights. And now it's like, work for Marvel, work for DC. Don't you want to work for Marvel? Don't you want to work for DC? No, I don't. Well, it's to stick around for the end of one of those movies you go to. Batman, Deadpool, whatever. Just stick around for the end. How many of those people you see, the thousands of people you see, do you know any of them work on... You think they tell their family, I worked on Deadpool. Think they give a shit? It's just another job. And the sketch cover thing's even worse because someone else is making more money off it than you. So you made 300 bucks, they're selling it for 600. To who? There's got to be a bunch of wealthy dudes in the middle of nowhere buying this shit. I don't know what. It can't possibly work out long term. It's madness. It's fucking crazy town, man. You know. So no, I'm not doing it. Say no. Did you hit mute or something? Can't hear you. Think we lost Mike? We might have lost Mike. Are you there, Mike? He imploded. You know. So I'm not against like I leave the sketch cover shit mostly up to Brandon. I mean, drawing on them's a pain. The paper's shit. Each one of them varies from one to the other. But at the end of the day, it's like I got other stuff to do. You know. If I had just gotten on with doing that other stuff 10 years ago, I'd be a happier Rob. But I played the bullshit game. And I'm not saying that my plan is for everybody. Like everyone should do it, you know? I just know what I have to do. I don't hear Mike anymore. I'll just hang up until he comes back. Hey there. Yo, what's up?
There we are.
There you go. Hey, no, Johnny, I'll have saucy stuff. It'll be in a book. Not selling prints. So, what's up? Oh, there you are. Yeah, I don't know. I lost you. That was weird.
No, no, I stepped away and muted for a minute because I had to step away and I said, hey, I'll be right back because you were talking. I tried not to interrupt you and then I just came back. And the last thing I heard was, I don't hear Mike. And then the call ended and I was like, oh no. Anyway, the my first convention was a very big eye opener. Oh, what day is the Vegas in
No
June?
clue. No clue.
Huh?
No clue. Brandon's supposed to. My wife has those dates written down. I'm
Oh,
not good with
come on.
memorizing dates. Hey man, I barely remembered her birthday. I know it's Wii U Day. She hates that. Like, I'm a little heartless when it comes to dates. Yeah.
Omar asked me, one of the guys I grew up with, she's like, when's Tori's birthday? And I was like, September? And I looked on his Facebook, it was February 9th. And I should have remembered because it was Super Bowl. But no, it didn't happen. So, kind of the same way. Second weekend of June.
Yeah,
That could
second
be
weekend.
2 months. How you getting out there?
I'm just driving.
From San Diego?
Mm-hmm.
So if I fly in, then I just ride with you, right? In your
Mm,
Mazda?
depends on how quick that PC. No, yeah, you're welcome.
Dude, quit giving me shit about.
Just fucking with you, dog.
I know, but I already like
Mm,
feel. Okay, do you want to know
mm.
why I ran out of money? Would you like to know?
Dude, because you're fucking working, bro. I
No,
get it.
because my rent check and the goddamn car
Well, I don't
came
want.
on the
Here's what
same
I just.
check.
I just need you to tell me these things because I don't want you paying
I
for this. That's what I freak out about. You know, you're gonna.
no, I'm gonna pay for whatever I gotta pay for, and then you and I can settle it when the dust settles. You're
That's what
gonna.
I don't. I just know you're too nice. That's you know what I mean. Like,
Oh, too nice. Is that what it is?
well, yeah. Actually, you'll be like, I'll do this for you, and I'll do that. I'm like, no, please don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just do the basic. You know, because I'm appreciative. You know, but I know what
Yes.
it's like. You know,
Don't get mad at me for being too nice. I'll do
I'm not
my
mad.
things
I
for
just
you.
worry. I just worry.
You what? You worry that I'm gonna be too nice too? Is that what it is?
Uh, no, just that you create more work for yourself than you need to. You understand what I mean?
And you are absolutely correct. I do.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm gonna do that like no matter what. There's no stopping that. But
I tried.
that's not. I know. Yeah, I know. You do. You try. But unfortunately, being too nice is not why I'm sitting out,
But yeah, bro,
or
if
I'm
you
sitting out
fly
all
in, you
other
got it
day.
right. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna share a hotel room with you. But my wife's
Well,
coming.
yeah, I would imagine not. Let's see.
It sucks though, cause like last year it was cool. They had it in this one hotel, one casino slash hotel, so you could just walk downstairs. I gotta get somewhere like across the street or something. Like
What's the name of the con?
Amazing Vegas Con, Amazing Vegas. I always call it the shit Amazing Arizona. It's not. It's Amazing Vegas. Amazing's their thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, I hear you, Johnny. It's a big travel for. I wouldn't say that con's worth the traveling. Yeah, I wouldn't kill yourself on that one.
Amazing Las Vegas Comic
Mm-hmm.
Convention,
Mm-hmm.
June 17th through the 19th.
supposed to be a new Ghostbusters pinball machine coming out. I hear it's really dope. Fully licensed, sound clips and shit built in.
Where in the hell would you find out they're making a new Ghostbusters pinball
Shane,
machine?
he owns the original proto. He owns one of the games that was going to be a Ghostbusters cabinet, but then it didn't work out. And they had to make it this thing. It's called uh, something like gate crashers or something like that. Okay, I
So
don't
it's
know.
Super Mario 2. It was
No, this is
designed
an
for one
actual
thing, and
Ghostbusters
they
one. The one he owns was going to be Ghostbusters, and then they had to convert it. But an actual Ghostbusters cabinet is coming out. Well, Stern makes a lot of these things. Like Stern, they make pinballs. Stern, not Howard Stern, but Stern. You can find this info out. There's a whole There's people who enjoy. There's people who love pinball, man. I'm right up there with them.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing.
I can't wait till someone rebuilds them all in VR. You know, like full 3D pinball machines, so I can have them all.
You could just put on your Oculus and
Yeah. Well, there's
walk
already
up
an
and have
arcade.
like a bunk
Well,
pinball
there's
machine that
already a
just does
video.
everything.
Well, there's a VR arcade right now you can download. It works on DK2. That is an 80s arcade, and all the cabinets are recreated perfectly with moon carpeting, and it uses MAME pre-built in. So when you go up to the cabinets, they're playing the actual games with scan lines turned on.
Oh,
And there's
Jesus
even a Super
Christ.
Nintendo in there where you can pick up the carts and put it in and play Chrono Trigger because it's running MAME. And there's Game Boys lying around you can pick up and just play the Game Boy games.
But how do you
You pick them up. You can see them lying on the
no, but
ground.
in reality, how do you do it? Like
And
if it's
well, you have a
Oculus, you still
controller.
need something in
You
your
have a
oh,
controller.
with the controller.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. There's a bowling alley.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So once you have like motion controls, you can pick up stuff. But the
Um,
controller's just fine for me. Like, it works. It's nice though. Just playing. I was loading it up a couple weeks ago, playing Turtles arcade game in there. Do 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 do.
which one or two?
Not the first one. They have both, but I like the first one for nostalgia's sake. I think Turtles in Time is a better game. Just it's nostalgia.
There was a big argument when we told people we had arcade games about which Ninja Turtles game we were going to load because they were only going to load a handful for the company because we didn't want the shitload of games, and people were like everyone got up in arms about which one.
There's only two games. There's Turtles and then Turtles in Time. Now you're talking about all the ones on the console. That's a whole nother situation. But
Yeah, they knew we had the availability. They knew we could do the two arcade games, but they knew we could also. It wouldn't be hard for us to load up the other games and just emulate.
I got
Aside from using MAME, they knew they had options.
right. Draw this dino over here.
Oh, that's not that bad. All right. Well, if I book now, the flights are not that expensive. How far are you from the San Diego airport?
10 minutes away.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm super close, man. With
Oh,
driving, you know what I mean? But yeah.
wow.
Alien versus Predator. Yeah, that's going in GameCube 1-2. Capcom's Alien versus Predator.
All right, so say I flew down for the Vegas Con, and I drove in with you. What other expenses am I looking at, and how could I help out while I was there?
There's not much. I mean, you just need your own place. I can't. The wifey wants her. You know what I mean? She needs her own room. So
Well, I'm not worried about the room. I could
yeah.
book a hotel. I mean, things.
No, you just come along, man. You know, no
Yeah,
problem.
just like carry shit around and hang out in the
No,
booth and
Brandon's there for
stuff.
that. He's a professional mover. That's his job. Yeah, he moves stuff. That's his. Yeah, I don't move shit.
just sit
That's what he
there.
does for a living. So I told him it's his skill. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to laugh at that, but you're not wrong.
No, I'm not doing it.
All right,
I
well,
just won't
I'm
go.
going to.
I'm not doing that shit. I've done that.
Is it okay if I tentatively put this on my schedule to go
Yeah, you're
to the
welcome.
next con with you?
Yeah, you're welcome to. Sure.
Okay. No, it's not. It's not terribly expensive
You're
to
not
fly
gonna be
out.
that annoying guy in the back who's like, you can be the booth babe. You know, Mike gets hit on by a lot of guys for some reason. So
The booth babe. I do get home.
yeah,
I can be your booth babe. No, I just want to come and hang out.
yeah.
Honestly, like
If you wanna,
I'd
sure.
love to just kind of be there and experience it, and then
You
go,
can
wow,
be. You can
he's
dress
done
up as
this.
Rose, and Kyle can show up as the doctor.
Mm, yeah, I'd have to shave my beard.
Yeah, you would.
Get a wig.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. You're blonde though, so it'll work.
There was a chick dressed up as the Fourth Doctor. That was pretty dope.
The original one or the new fourth?
No, the original Fourth
Oh
Doctor.
yeah,
She had the hat and the coat and
yeah,
the scarf and everything.
yeah. Tom Baker.
Sweet. Cool. I'm gonna put that in. Actually, I can book that time off now.
Plus, you know it's Vegas. If you get bored, there's other shit for you to do. You know?
Well, I've never been to Vegas.
Oh no?
I've
Oh,
I've heard Vegas is cool for like 2 days.
well, yeah.
So
There is this cool retro gaming store if you want to check it out. They
how
got
many
everything.
times have you been to Vegas?
They got everything.
Seriously, how many times have you been to Vegas?
I don't know. A lot. In the past 10 years, like just a couple because of my. But I used to drive through up to Montana all the time. So I used to just drive through.
Drive through Vegas on your way to Montana?
Yeah, because the 15 goes right from. The 15 starts here and ends in Montana. So you just take the 15 all the way up. One highway.
That's like when I stopped by San Francisco on my
Well,
way to Philadelphia.
my cousin, lives in Montana. She's like my sister, so I used to go up there all the time. Before I got into t-shirts, and I couldn't go anywhere.
Where that hell started.
Yeah, before that, hell. Yeah, no, there's a cool.
No, 15 went all the way
There
up.
used to be this cool pinball Hall of Fame out there, but it's kind of run down now. But across the streets is pretty cool arcade. I mean, retro game store. I mean, they got everything, dude. Shit from Amiga, Commodore.
Damn.
Yeah, they're pretty hardcore.
Well, how many days is it?
It's usually like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Let's see. Well, so if I fly on Wednesday the 15th,
Yeah, you can show it here.
yeah, and then I leave on Wednesday the 22nd.
You just gotta
I guess-
confirm it this time, so my wife knows, because she planned the last time, and then you had to go do the other stuff, which I get. I just want to make sure I'm not telling her shit.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, we're
That ain't happening, because then she'll be like, "Is he coming or not?" And I'm like, "Look, you know."
yeah, solid. Solid. Okay.
But you're totally welcome to, man.
Sweet. Cool. I'm gonna put that in actually. Get going on that.
Maybe I'll have the Oculus stuff by then.
Oh yeah.
The lower jaw. Oh yeah. My dog has an underbite, so. She does. She's so cute. Her teeth are fucked up because she's a small dog. She's just like, "Ugh." I'm like, you little. You're just disgustingly cute. You know, little fucking urchin. You know.
All right. Well, it's 1. I'm gonna hop off.
All right.
Please hit me up later. I got crazy stuff to tell you. But
yeah, I'll
we're
call
gonna
you
be
tomorrow. If you're gonna be around,
well. So we're heading back to. We bought the 3-day pass.
I'll call you, but don't call you tomorrow.
I mean, you can call me. I'll definitely jump out. But
no, I don't want to. No, not while you're at con.
Well, we're trying to get to
Sunday.
Hold on, sweetie. What time are we going to con? Well, yeah. See, we're trying to get there by noon, so you're definitely gonna be asleep.
No,
But,
I'm up.
I mean,
I'm up. No, I'm up now at I'm up at 10 and working by 11.
Jesus, you're a goddamn machine.
I write though. That's why you don't see me post until 1 because I write from 11 to 1.
Okay, so
Every day.
if you want to hit me up at like 11.
Well, no, I'll be writing. That's not good.
Okay, well then I don't know.
Sunday's good, right?
We're probably gonna sell our Sunday spot, just because. I mean, you can only do so much at con over 3 days. So yeah, let's aim for Sunday. And at that point, you'll know. Like, if you hit me up Sunday morning and you're like, "Hey, you going?" I'm like, "No," and then we could just Skype it.
Yeah, and then I'll record it and put it up later when you're not.
There you go. Yeah.
We didn't do it live. I just put it up later. Like, you know, Rob, I don't think you get the point.
But yeah. So, well, let's go for Sunday.
Hey, really quick, want to hear something funny? So I was talking to
What's
my
up?
buddy, and he's like, you know, I might have to get a PS4, even though he didn't want to. And I'm like, well, why? He's like, well, because I have PS4, I like it. But he's like reluctantly agreeing to. And so I'm like, why? He says, well, because they're releasing Valkyria Chronicles on PS4 and, you know, Super K.
Brand dependent.
And I'm like, but you own that on PC? He's like, yeah. I'm like, it's the same game. Like,
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, I decided to send him screenshots. He's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, dude, they didn't add anything. It's not like they added bloom lighting and shit to this fucking thing. Like,
there's nothing in the PS4 engine or the hardware that's going to help you.
He was like, oh, well, thanks, man. I'm like, yeah, sure, don't spend the money. Like, I guess it didn't help. But
wow. You saved
did.
$60.
No, he saved him $300. He's gonna
Whoa,
buy a whole
what?
PS4.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was gonna buy a PS4 for it. And oh Jesus.
Yeah, so I was probably saying about $400.
Damn.
Which, look, I like the PS4, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to spend. I mean, if that's the game you're looking for, like, you already own.
Well,
I mean, you imagine how pissed he would have been when he bought that game.
And he's playing the same game?
Yeah!
Yeah, I'm sure he would have been like, wait, something's familiar here.
I told him, I said, look, when Final Fantasy 15 comes out, then that's not going to PC, so, you know, I get it.
There's whispers.
Yeah, I'll believe that shit when I see it. So, that being said, or like, hey, Dragon Quest, right? So, but in the meantime, I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
That you saved your buddy $400?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Because he wasn't paying attention?
Right.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
What you gotta do.
I want to buy a PS4 because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Bro, wait
Dude,
a
he's super
second.
smart. Just, I don't know, he wasn't thinking right. Sometimes, you know, we get, you know, tunnel vision. You know?
Yeah, no, and or you get
he secretly wants one, and that was
independent.
his excuse, and now I've taken that.
Yeah,
away from
you
him.
have that too. Yeah, either like this is my way to finally get it, or you're brand dependent. Because I was brand dependent for years with all the Final Fantasy stuff, and then it was like, well, I don't know.
I gotta go download that demo. So.
What? There's like 15 demo.
Yeah, there's a new one that has nothing to do with the game. It's an extra thing that just thought I'd fuck around, cool shit on there.
Oh, just letting you dick around.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of different things.
Sounds like something Squeenix would do. Did you hear? They're not doing episodic like they were talking about, and
It's multiple
it'll be.
games.
Well, yeah, but if they release the first chunk and say it's gonna be here for the next one, I'm
They
not
don't have a
buying it.
choice, dude. They
Nope.
remaking a stat. Look, those backgrounds are static renders. To rebuild all of that in 3D, what was one image now becomes how many textures and layers and lighting and you understand what I mean,
It's
Mike?
2016. They could have been working on this for years.
It's
I
not
know
even
it's
a
a lot
matter
of
of
work.
time, dude. It's just a matter of like that world is bro. Name one modern RPG that's fully 3D that's as large as Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9. 10 isn't. 10's small compared to those games. 12 is small compared to those games. And they're little chunked areas too, dude. They're not even like big worlds and shit. It got to the point where they made Final Fantasy 13 basically a running game, right? Where you ran
That was, yeah, it
into
was a tunnel runner.
yeah, the tunnel runner because they got a problem, dude. Like, look, when there's static backgrounds, you can create, giant areas. Gold saucer alone, dude. Like, and you got to have something for people. Like, they're gonna have to make it so you can walk up to doors and do extra shit too, because people are gonna be like, "That's it. There's nothing to do," because there wasn't much to do in those older games. They didn't have to make you do much, you know.
Do you really think you're gonna make us wait?
Yes, they don't
Do
have
you
a choice.
do you think they're gonna make us wait a year? Do you think they're
Don't
gonna
see
give
why
us
they
a
wouldn't.
tidbit and then say, "All right, well, next year you get the next the
I
second
assume,
chunk"?
yeah, I do, and I don't see why not, considering Madden is essentially the same game with different rosters every fucking year. And this would be more
All right,
game.
that's not
The
fair
trick is they need
because
to
that's
add
totally
more
true.
content. Like what they got to do is be like, okay, so when you walk up to a shop, you can actually go in there, do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to take those areas and flesh them out. Is what I'm saying. But the process of building those areas got to be regulated to different teams.
Like the playground and
Otherwise, it's going to take several years to do a one big thing. And then when they do it, what platform is going to exist at that point? You understand what I mean? So it's really a matter of like translating a static 2D image into a fully 3D realized world that you can walk around and participate. I get what people just don't realize. You know, come on, Mike, you're a developer.
well,
Think for a second.
I know.
If it were you, tasked with saying, okay, let's just take the first, you know, let's just take one section, of how much, like the train sequence alone, where you're running through the different parts of Shinra, like that. It's all 3D now. All the areas that
Yeah,
was just one image,
yeah, it's all built.
that you have to be able to walk around that now. You know, you're gonna want more. People are gonna
That's
want more.
yeah,
People
that's
are
gonna be
going to want
yeah.
more to do. There wasn't much to do in those games. People are going to want more to do. And if they say no, they're fucking liars. Because I guarantee you, when it came, if they didn't make it, if I had a way to prove this with time travel in multiple dimensions, like you'd go back and be like, there's not enough to do. Like there needs to be more. They could have added more stuff. You could be doing, so yeah, I think the guy running Square, directing all these Final Fantasy games now, the guy who started with Project Type Zero, and he's doing Final Fantasy 15. He's on the money, dude. Like, he's why I give a shit about Square now, and I didn't before. 13, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Yeah, you and me both, buddy.
yeah. And I didn't like what they did to fucking Yasumi Matsuno with 12. You know what I mean? Fucking around with him for God knows how many years, taking 5 years to make one game. Because they kept fucking with him to the point where he like quit making games for the longest time. So,
I like 12.
so I think
So what
whatever.
do you think they're gonna give us? A 2017 release, and then a 2018 and
Yeah, but I
2019, and
think
it's gonna
that
be
when you
three
add the
years
game
to
up,
get all of Final Fantasy
and I think
VII.
it's going to be a 300-hour fucking, it's going to be a 100-hour first-person game, dude. I mean, look, they fixed Final Fantasy Online. People think Heaven's Sword is the best fucking Final Fantasy since 10. I
Well,
don't
I
like the
played it. It's
MMO.
not
I
bad.
don't like MMO mechanics, so I can't get into it. I wish there was a way to play it as turn-based. You know, if I could play all that content in Heaven's Sword as turn-based, I'd play it in an instant. You know, but I have to admit that it is a good game. I just don't care for the MMO mechanic. You know,
Sure.
and look what they did with Bravely Default, Bravely Second. So yeah, I think that whatever decision they've arrived at is probably the right decision. You know, but they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They got to cite on content, and that people need to feel like this is. People are gonna want. Look, you create something that's awesome, people are always gonna want more, right?
Oh no, they have to give the fans the world.
Yeah, and so that's going to
They're in a
require a lot
situation
of
where
effort, and they can't take 7 years to make a port of that game. So they got to break it up into chunks. This means you got to have different teams that take this, take that, take this, take that, and then they're going to also. That's what they said. Well, it's not going to be exact. We're also going to do extra stuff because they have to flesh it out. You know.
Well, they're adding a non turn-based battle system, much like 13.
Yeah, that scared. But as long as
But
they have a
no,
turn-based
it's
option,
optional.
yeah, that every RPG now needs to have an option on the battle system.
Well, the old ones did. Remember the old
No,
ones where
I
you'd
mean,
have
no,
turn-based and you could turn on ATB?
not every game had that, bro.
Not
You know, Chrono
every
Trigger has
game,
a
but
battle
a bunch
system.
of them did.
All I'm saying is we live in the future now, guys. Okay, go watch Back to the Future. We're past that. All right, we're in the future.
But we
right?
don't drive.
We're DOS
we don't
futures
dress like
now.
that.
Okay, we're futures X1, right now, and we live in a world where I believe every RPG should have a turn-based and a real-time option.
Yeah,
Period.
active turn-based.
Yeah. So they can leave me the fuck alone with
Yeah.
that. No one will buy it. Bullshit. So. But,
I don't
yeah.
want to wait. I don't want to wait 2 years to have all 3 chapters, though.
First off, how many games do you own that you've beaten? All right, so it's going to take you 2 years to beat these games anyway, so don't worry about that. You know, Mike, we're all getting older. You know what I mean? We don't got the time. You know, what I just want it to be is a good game. I want it to feel right. I want it to feel complete. You know, I want it to be a really good remake, so they can then say, all right, you know, we can do remakes of 9 or 10 or whatever. You know.
I don't think they're gonna. They did in the HD of 10. They're doing the half-assed HD of 9 that
No,
released
that's not what I'm talking
Steam. But they're not gonna remake anything else.
They will if this sells. Do you understand the term "follow the money"?
You really think if they do well enough on 7, they're gonna remake another one? Everyone hated 8.
Yeah. No, they'll remake 9.
Barely passed.
No. 9 was like the top-selling game on fucking PSN until Suikoden 2 came out. So I think what you're forgetting, you're going back and saying, well, when it came out, it wasn't. But you're forgetting that longevity. That game's gained a lot of hearts over the time.
I know.
Like Psychonauts didn't sell shit when it came out, but now it's sold over 1 million copies.
But 9's the last one that they even converted over to PC.
Yeah, I'm saying I do think they.
I'm waiting on it on Steam.
Look, I think what they're going to do is be like, hey, we just sold a gazillion copies of this Final Fantasy VII remake. What else can we remake? That's going to be the exact.
We just sold more copies of Final Fantasy VII than there are people on the planet. What can we remake? Let's do this.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So I think they're coming up with a business plan that says, well, rather than spend 7 more years on that idea, we could break another game up into a certain amount of parts because, it's hard to turn those games. Dude, like I think about this, right? Like, think about how much content was packed into like Chrono Trigger. So if you remake Chrono Trigger in 3D, it's a time game. So you got to take the same map and then you have to build it 5 different times. You know what I mean? One as a thing, one as an older thing, one as a prehistoric thing, one as a future thing. So 4 different. You got to take the same map and remake it 4 different times. Everything has to be constructed in 3D. It's not just a little drawing. Every tree has to be built.
That's just for one console too.
Everything has to be textured, and then you have to give it more depth. People are gonna want more to it. They just are because you just said 10 was just a rinky-dink conversion, right? So they're gonna have to add more content.
And that's just for one console.
And I can see them.
Not all consoles run the same code.
Yeah, and I can see them coming back. Well, they do now. They're all going to be x86 based, bro. They're all going to be using Unreal.
Well, the Xbox One and the PS4 x86 based. Finally, yeah. I mean, you and I know that.
Until they all move over to JavaScript, right?
It's until You've got it right. Until they move over to
Never use
JavaScript.
JavaScript for games. Sure. Well,
It's working.
it works for Minecraft. I'm just saying, like, it
It's
pisses
working
people
for
off.
everything else
And every
too.
GUI XT, all sorts of development. You know, you want to actually do real development. You know that. So, I'm just saying, I'm pretty good at forecasting. You know, if you've
I
hung out with
know.
me-
I've known you for 3 years, and you've called a lot of shit. And the other stuff you haven't called that's come to fruition yet, or I have written down. Remember, I do this.
So yeah, I think it's the right decision. You know?
Okay. Well,
Doesn't guarantee a
that
great
means-
game. You think you got to remember that too. You know, like they could still fuck the game up.
well,
But
they can.
the fact that they've already said they're giving you an option on ATB or real time, there you go. We're already that dude. Would
Well,
Square have done
ATP in
that?
quotation marks. ATP being their battle system versus a turn-based. They're keeping the turn-based
Well, turn-based
in.
is ATB, dude. That's the actual.
Well,
term.
no.
Active time
ATP
battle-
is
active battle-
turn-based with the clock turned off.
active battle.
Whatever you have
Okay,
to.
okay, all right,
yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
a turn-based and whatever the fuck else. It probably the
Yeah.
same system they had probably in Final Fantasy
13.
15. 13 or 15.
13. 13. 15's not out yet. The 13 is an active shift-based. It's weird. I don't know if you got into 13. I got into 13 hard for like 15 hours.
I would have assumed they
And then I
would
was
use
running down
whatever they're
tunnels.
using at 15 because they have the engine built.
They are
The
going.
system's already. They're not making.
They're going bananas for 15. So probably the same thing, but they're giving us the original. The smartest thing they are doing is saying, no matter what, you will have the original turn-based gaming of 7.
Yeah, well, that's the smartest thing they're doing is
We-
they're actually talking.
On top of
You know,
that,
like, and since
we
when
will
have the
add
Japanese
a
been known
crazy battle system.
for telling you what they're actually going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're usually dead silent, and then they drop this stuff, and then you go motherfucker. You know, like so.
It's like the Wii every time. So they're saying we will have, like, if you want to go legit all the way through the game, the way you fucking love to do it, here's your turn-based game and go. If you want to turn on our new battle system we think is awesome, then you can do that.
I believe the battle system. I mean, I haven't read it, but I would put money on it being more like whatever they just did in 15. Only
I'm
because
sure
they're
it's
gonna.
like that.
It's already working in Unreal, and I just can't see them.
Aren't they using Unreal 4 for 15?
And they're using it on 7. They were specific to say,
We're using Unreal 4.
we're done making custom engines that take 10 years to build and don't work right. I mean, half the problem.
How
they had-
many engines have they ditched already?
every game had a new engine. That's how Japanese programmers used to program. Was every game had a new engine, and that was doable on older shit. Now you can't. So you know why Final Fantasy 12 took 5 years? Because they had to make that engine. They scrap the old one and make a new one every time.
12. I wish they would do an HD port of 12. Such a good
Well, you
game.
can already play it in HD. It's called emulation. You just I already have it in HD.
I know.
The menus
You
are a little blurry,
remember
but
the
the
night
game
that
looks
you and I were
wonderful.
talking, and
Bro,
I
the
spent
game-
a half an hour downloading a PSX emulator and getting Symphony of the fucking Night and doing all that shit just to be able to like hook up my Xbox controller.
We just recorded Gamecast tonight, and I was showing Retro Collect had a link to a mod for the Nintendo emulation that takes anti-aliasing off the textures on Nintendo 64 ROMs. So now when you're playing Mario 64, you can see the textures on the walls and shit from a mile away. It doesn't look like, Vaseline smear all over your fucking screen.
Oh,
The
really?
system, when you do it, the games like GoldenEye looks a lot like fucking Metal Gear Solid because the pixel, style textures without the wavy screen shit. That's all. Remember the PlayStation had that weird wavy thing? The polygons would shift and wobble. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, hardware. And then, mind you, after I played Symphony of the Night, because you were like, oh, this is the best game ever, I went and bought it at a retro gaming store for $60 without a case.
Why?
Why? Because it was awesome, and then I wanted my own. They have... Ugh.
Well, I have
okay,
my
you're
own.
lucky.
I have the one I bought. I never got rid of that. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, you have the one you bought. They have a sealed black box Symphony of the Night. Never opened.
You know what I do have never opened, because when they sent it to me, I never opened it for whatever reason. Like I just didn't have time to play it. Darksiders.
Seriously?
Yeah, the first game on 360, still in the plastic wrapping. And I'm like, you know what? That might actually keep. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That may keep.
you know, crazy as it sounds, like that might actually, you know, I'm just gonna leave that little one right in there. Like that's the one. Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, they got it there for $600.
Yeah, well, it's no one's gonna buy it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Eh.
Having a sealed Symphony of the Night black box, that would be one for the collection, man.
I don't care that much about that.
Well, you're not collecting. I am.
I think you're overpaying.
Well, I haven't bought it, so technically I haven't overpaid. I bought $100 worth of Final Fantasy stuff today at Pink Gorilla.
Oh yeah?
I got Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on a handheld system I don't even know the name of. I got Final Fantasy Adventures for Game Boy. I got Japanese Final Fantasy 9 and Tactics, because I already have 8 and 7 international import. And what was the other one I got? I think that's it. Oh, I got the strategy guide for 1 and 2 re-release. Yeah, I spent $100 on Final Fantasy stuff today. My Comic-Con.
I might go back at some point when I got some spare change and start getting. I could see value in owning the first and only the first 50 issues of Nintendo Power. Since I lost, they were stolen from me after I left for the army. I like the first 50 issues. That's it. All the way up to Link's Awakening, gold cover. And then it all went downhill.
That's right. I still got that.
I have Game Fan issue 1 from 1993, 92 actually. I actually have that.
So just like buy them one at a time.
Oh, this is worth $500, dude.
No, and like if you were gonna restart the collection, start buying them one at a time.
Probably here and there. Yeah, I'd want the first 50, including the strategy guides, the 4 that were released, the Mario Bros. 3, the Ninja Gaiden 2, the Final Fantasy, and I think there was like a 4-player bullshit one.
Damn, you got all those?
I had everything. Yeah. Because I got Nintendo Power when it first came out. Yeah, I was in the Nintendo Power fan club, and they sent you the first issue free.
Right in the feels, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
You just got that in the mail. Like, what is this? They're like, that's our new magazine. You get to have that. It's like, it's got a poster. Shit was perfect down too, bro. You know, felt solid. You know, cardstock covers and shit, dude. It's nice.
My friend Tori had all of them too. Whatever happened?
And I would get Pocket Cave. Oh, sorry, Pocket Cave. That's my version. Nintendo Pocket. Or Pocket Power. It's called Pocket.
Pocket Power?
Yeah. I made my own
Pocket.
version. Pocket Cave, yeah, they produced one issue in 1993, and it did really, really well. It was all about mobile gaming. And then Wesley was in charge of it. And Wesley's character, I put him in there as a villainous sort of douchebag. And he ran it and stuffed it full of ads and overblew the budget, and it never shipped. Like, Bacon took the blame. They never produced Pocket Cave issue 2.
Oh, man.
I will do excerpts from Pocket Cave, and Volume 1-2 or 3, I haven't decided yet. Probably two because that's when Wesley Silversword. His father's the mayor of Butter Bay. He's kind of
Oh,
one of those rich douchebag kids. And now he's a manager of a gaming league team, like the highest rated team. He married into the family, so he's manager of the team.
I don't know how you think of this shit sometimes.
It's a calling.
When my father hears about this, oh, is he one of those like seriously? Is he just a dickhead or is he like one of the tropes where it's like I don't care who your dad is, you can't do this stuff around
I
town.
don't write tropes. I mean, I guess they could say you're a trope. The trick is to take something that's fairly familiar, and then have the characters do things that the characters would do, and not force them to do something because you think that would be funny. Like what would
So
they do?
don't write him into it.
He wants
Just
to. No, Wesley wants to. This character wants. He just wants respect. And so he's running the best. He's manager of the best gaming league there is. Rapid Fire is the name of the team, number one team, and his wife is slated to be the captain. But the captain of the current team is someone who doesn't quite like Wesley and kind of gets in his way. So I don't want to say what it is now, but it comes into the story in Volume 1-2. And so,
so at face value, it sounds like a trope, but there's more to it.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think you should start off with the trope. Like Buffy's is a trope. Oh, it's a girl who's got powers and she's gonna save the world and she's got friends. And then you have the characters.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then you have the characters exist and allow the characters. The problem I think you can make in storytelling, number one biggest problem I've seen, is when people try to go so against expectation that they create weird plot devices and mechanics. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and this character does this and that and this. I think the character should do one thing and then just allow that character to exist and let the character go where it needs to go. So they eventually become something. Buffy starts as one thing. She's the only Slayer, and at the end, she's one of 100 Slayers. Her job was actually to create all the Slayers, right?
Hmm.
Willow's an insecure, boy, you know, loving, nobody who's a powerful witch at the end who has, the ability to go dark and is a lesbian. You know what I mean? Like they have to grow, but you need to let them start in a place.
So the trope would be the seed, and then you just blossom from there.
Right, and his character has an arc that I've planned. And some arcs are shorter and some arcs are longer. But you need to make sure that while they're on screen, when they have scenes that, they're there are people there to give them trouble, and whether it's their own insecurities or the people that they made enemies, or you gotta give them some kind of conflict, internal or external,
Yeah.
and play to that. But I would never write a character who was just like, I'm a fucking douchebag. Fuck you. I mean, I might have a character say that, and then everyone would be like, really? Like, and then I might spend time just thinking about random shit. So it's not like Bombcat's a character who just wants to she wants to be her own person. She wants to own her own stuff. She wants to live her own life. And unfortunately she's leaving a guild in which everything you do is owned by the guild. So technically everything she has is owned by them, and legally they're not wrong. But morally she has a stance where it's like, I want to live my life. I've done enough for you people, you know? And she ends up in a situation where she can get out of that trouble, but she has to, like anything, she becomes a freelancer. She's not used to that. And that's jobs and employment in Game Cave are their basic religion. They have corporate gods and everything's based around employment.
For
Yeah,
gods.
they believe like
Oh, I
because
can't
they
wait
have
to read this
yeah
book.
yeah they believe like because there's the Juma, these demons. They think that who comes back as a demon. Because they don't.
Technically, I'm a demon now, according to
Yeah,
you.
but you don't remember your previous life when you're a Dejuma. But they're pretty certain because anytime someone dies, a Dejuma appears. So they're pretty certain at this point that it's people coming back. So then they're like, well, maybe, if they've developed all sorts of beliefs on what would keep that from happening. Like if you only have one employer forever, you will be cleansed and perfect to go into the next dimension. Like you will have been loyal, and it's all about
Are you
loyalty and fealty. I'm dead
serious?
serious. Yeah, I don't get heavy into it in this. Like there's us people talking here, but eventually I will. Like it's not germane to the immediate story, but it's there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Oh man. Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. If you have one employer,
Yeah, and there are different religions, and there are people who believe, there's three or four major different ways of thinking, and like the golems have their own religion. They believe everything came from the dirt because they're made of dirt. And slimes believe everything came from the stars because they're made of, ethereal jelly. No one knows what the fuck they're made out of. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a slime. I can't come from here. Like I can't pop. We're from the
all
stars.
right.
And so golems and slimes naturally wouldn't get along. One believes from the sky, one believes from the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does a stone beat up a jelly? How does a jelly beat up a stone? See? And so you can take these basic things, and start to build around, you know, cultural conflict. At the end of the day, I guess I all just came up with it so I can invent my own video game magazine. But it's interesting, you know,
No, it's definitely fascinating.
it's an RPG world, bro. It's not bullshit. Like that's when I was like, well, how come 3 years? Well, this come, like this is why.
Yeah.
Um, and it's there. So even if I don't have room in the story, I have the sections that are all during the story. You have all these concept art areas,
Uh,
and they all have this additional information that is intentionally spread out across each book to help enhance things that you're reading to. You know, so something might be mentioned or whatever, and then there might be a little item, and then on the left hand side you'll have more details about that, which will give you more details on the world and everything else. Like so, you
wait,
get
how many
that
pages first book?
142. Each book will be 142 to maybe 144. It depends on the way this one thing
Oh,
gets
okay,
done.
so you got the okay.
Yeah, and that's moving forward
All right.
verbatim. That's not changing. So, and that was because what is the right amount of words? Because when you actually think about it, like when you do the page counts, the actual writing is closer to 50 pages. But then you have all the art, which adds an extra 6 to 8 pages of artwork. Then you have all the info, character, world map, world locations, calendar, solar system info, all that
Mhm.
stuff adds an extra 12 pages. The cover is an extra 4 pages or 2 pages on the exterior cover. So that puts you at 70 pages for all the story stuff, plus concept art, plus sequential art, plus info. And then you have an additional 72 to 74 pages of video game stuff. 6 of which are just history related, the history of Game Cave.
Mhm.
Well, 8
Well,
actually, 8 pages.
the
The
turtle
2 page
one's
intros. You have
two
two
pages,
pages. Well,
right?
and the first intro is 4 pages because you have the exterior picture of Game Cave 100. Then you flip it and you go into the book, which has Rad's notes. So 2 pages
Mhm.
that sets up the first section, and then you read all those stuff, and then you have 2 pages that sets up the second, 2 pages on the third, 2 pages on the fourth. Yeah. That gives you all extra world building character stuff. You get to you get to know about characters because you hear them writing about stuff. Plus, Rad's notes on who they were and what he thought about certain things, and yeah, yeah, very proud of it. So
Oh, I would be too, man. I've kind of been along for the ride, so
yeah, you know,
I know what you're making.
so it in a way it's like building I really believe at this point it's enough if I wanted to sit down maybe with someone who's better at the math part of it than I am. But if I wanted to sit down with someone who was better at that part, I could easily make an RPG based on this universe. It's not a problem. And it would be a well-rounded, even pen and paper. It would be extremely well-rounded. There's two major continents. There's 3 or 4 different mindsets. There's multiple battle systems. There's different guilds. There's the VR world. There's the real world. There's the solar system world. So I have a macro and a micro world.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
with your content, you would be fine.
yeah.
You would absolutely be fine. Um,
It's the workload.
yeah. The only unfortunate part of that is the thing that I don't like is like paper and pencil is just slowly dwindling, which sucks because
Well,
I
there's
played.
other things I can do, and
Well,
one of the things
I
I've been
know,
able
but
to.
it's just like I played D&D for years
Well,
and
I wouldn't do it.
years.
I'm saying if I needed to, I could. What I
I
can
know,
do.
but playing D&D in this world would be fucking awesome. Like
Well, I
playing.
don't need 1,000 people even. All I really need is a good 100 backers. Like I just think what you gotta understand is because I'm doing everything, all I have to do is pay myself.
Oh yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying? Like
Hmm.
I pay myself, and so if I only
You're
make,
not looking to make $100,000
let's say
or
I
a
do
million
two projects
dollars.
a year, and I only keep after taxes and shipping and everything, I only keep 20 grand. You know what I mean? Or 15 grand. Well, that's a part-time job. You understand? Like it's a lot
Yeah,
of work that most people would want for a part-time job, but I don't care about that. I care about having my ideas, and creating things. And I don't need to be self-motivated. I don't need to be motivated by anyone else. Like, very unique person. I had to look at myself as like an employee. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a unique situation. So,
yeah.
but there are other things I will be doing. I just don't like to mention them because there are things I can do that involve
I know.
games and stuff that aren't electronic. That don't involve.
Have you been working on that stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah. So,
Because I haven't seen anything lately.
yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, not for the past couple weeks because vacation, but yeah.
Well, yeah, vacation, of
But the
course.
card game and all that other stuff, that's all coming. Yeah. So, but the universe, a lot of it comes down to the writing, man. If you don't have a backbone, it's just pictures, you know,
Well, you've got a backbone.
and you can't do anything with it at that point. And because someone's gonna be like, Rob, what about this? And you're like, I don't fucking know, and then you're done. Like, so I do know, and I can answer almost any question. And the ones I can't answer, I'll be like, yeah, I know that. I'm just not telling you. So I'll figure most of it out. Some things I'm not going to do. Like, case in point, I could sit down and in about 2 weeks, probably I think about 2 weeks, I could have every game that was ever reviewed in every issue worked out. The problem is I want to fill that in per issue. I know what the cover stories are and what what was on the cover for every issue. But I want to fill out the content per game based on what needs to be in the book. You understand what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
let's say a backer wants to review uh, an Amiga game. Well, Rad didn't cover Amiga games when they came out because he didn't give a fuck about Amiga. He only cared about Nintendo, PC, and Atari. But I do have a section in the Play magazine version, that era, where they started to cover those older things because of something Bacon started facilitating. So why pick what those games were? If someone wants to review an Amiga game, they can then I'd like to review this, and then I'll go, oh, that'll be the spot for it. You know what I mean? So I have spots
Hmm.
for all that stuff. It's just it would just be smarter to build that specifics out, and then I have a document that I plug everything in, so I know that goes in issue 53. Here's the year, and then I go into there and I have the document filled out for that issue, and I plug in this section. This was reviewed by this editor. You know, so
Jesus Christ.
yeah, and I have that for every issue, all 100, already written. It's all done. So,
You're a machine.
so anyway, man, I've eaten up a lot of your time, but that's why I was saying, like, yeah, I don't care about prints. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's why I don't care about Prince.
the prints don't do it for Rob. You know what I mean? Like, I'm bored. You know,
All
like I
right,
like
well,
doing this because it'll be in the
you and I
book.
are friends. If I want to print something, will you print it for me?
Yeah, I mean,
Or send me the file so I can
if
print it?
people ask me for a print while I'm working on shit, if it's available, then I'll say, yeah, just send me to my PayPal. I'll ship one out to you. But
Okay.
that whole idea of having like multiple prints and
I know you don't like it anymore. I have one last question for you.
sure.
It's April. You got back from vacation. You said pit in April. We still good?
uh
No.
for this
Just
month,
say no. Just say no.
yeah, probably not for this month.
That's
As
fine.
soon as I get through
Fine.
the next two commissions, I'm good.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
did not expect
I've
the
waited 3
motherboard.
years. I can wait
It's the
longer.
motherboard thing that killed my time. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That ate up almost 3 weeks.
I know. I and
So
yeah, I know.
so that's otherwise, yeah. So very
That's
soon.
fine.
But I got Kyle's stuff to get laid out, and the Bayonetta. The Bayonetta and then Kyle's. And then when that's done, yeah, we're ready to go.
Are you just gonna do a saucy, or what do you?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a saucy. I'm gonna lay out um, a max as well to go with it. So there'll be because I like to paint because the way the paints need to dry, it's
Mhm.
easier to work on too when you're painting.
So, are you gonna do them so they kind of work together, or are you just gonna
The
just do them at the same
layouts,
time?
I don't know if the layouts will mirror one another. So I don't know. I don't see how. What I'll probably do, what I would mirror is that let's say I do the max, I do the basic max, right?
Mhm.
Purple chick's
Purple,
wearing.
yellow.
What's her face is wearing the. If I put her on it, she's wearing the normal stuff. Her
Mhm.
I would mirror the Outback Max if I down the road. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because I don't see how the pit needs to mirror Max. What I would do is if pit is facing one way, I'd probably make the Max face the other. Just so when I'm taking photos, they don't look the same. But but I mean, for me, it's just like I know the colors, you know,
Yeah.
that between the two, like they just seem like the right. If I'm gonna do another character, that seems like the character to do. Yeah.
Oh, I'm in full support of you doing Pit and Max together.
Yeah, I could draw monsters maybe in the background on the pit and the is on the max, and that
Oh,
way they
the
might mirror one
is.
another. You know what I mean?
I want to see your take on the is so bad.
I don't.
Saucy is in like clumps and shit. Ah, yep, I'm
So
good with that.
but yeah, like that would be the thing.
Well, yeah, take your time. I don't care. It is what it is. But it's 1:37. I should go to bed.
Yep.
Call me on Sunday.
We'll do. Have fun tomorrow.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Later. Now watch this magically. Watch this. See, it's kind of blurry looking. Unsharp mask once. Oh, sorry. Filter, sharpen, unsharp mask. 1, 2, 3. Let's try 4 times. Now we have super sharp lines. And then we'll take that. Be sharp. Fill it in with white. Duplicate, mark down, control click, path, work path, 1.2. Okay, work path, filled it with white, with black. And then we erase the parts we don't want to create some free thick and thin. I have to leave the mouse. And then we'll switch to the oil brush. Zoom in. Set the oil to 6. Then we'll I'll just add where that's necessary to add. And we sharpen those. And then we mark down. And we mark down. And he's done. Well, actually, he needs a little bit of plushy stuffing lines, is what I call them. Two, four pixel. Is Brendan flat? Yeah, Brandon's doing the flats. While he's doing that, I gotta go work on the Bayonetta, and then on Monday, and I'm gonna try and get all the line arts done on Bayonetta between Monday and Tuesday, and then I'll start the Final Fantasy VII, and then send him the Final Fantasy VII, and then when by the time I'm done with Final Fantasy VII, he'll be done doing the flats on these, and then I can clear this one and be done. There should be a good rotation on that. So 2, 3. Duplicate, merge down. Select path, fill, erase. Erase. Control this dude. This should get pretty done. This should get done pretty quick. Trick here is just to try and work as fast as you can without screwing it up. Give me 1 second. Later, Dad. Later, dude. Take it easy. 7 more to do. It's 30. Let's stop at 30 minutes. Alright, so let's turn this down. So it's approaching my bedtime and I can feel myself starting to rush this guy here, which means I'm too tired. So I need to go to sleep and finish the remaining plushies in the morning. I wanted to get them all done tonight, but whatever. These guys up in the front have to be. I mean, she's alright, and she needs more detail when I add the stuff, but these guys can't be fucked around with. I'll never hear the end of it. Alright, so again, I guess I gotta finish it tomorrow. just one won't end, this one. So, finish it in the morning. Peace.